Hey friend, Graham here from recordingrevolution.com. Today we're going to talk about songwriting. I love songwriting. It's the beginning of the song creation process. It's ultimately what drives me to the studio and gets me into mixing and mastering and plugins and all those things that we talk about a lot. It's the song, right, that starts it all. So in today's video, I want to share with you some stories of my own songwriting process to show you 3 different ways you can write a song just by giving you some examples. My hope today is to inspire you and encourage you and motivate you to go out there and actually write some new music in this season of your life. Sound good? All right, let's jump in. The first way is to start with the lyrics, almost like you would write a poem. So you have something you want to say and it begins with the words. It could be fleshed out completely, like you've been crafting this poetry together, or it could be some lyrical ideas, an intentional theme that you want to sing about, one line that you want to sing over and over again, some phrase that got stuck in your head that just seems to fit and you want to make a song based out of this. A song that I wrote this way, one of my favorites, is called Wandering Man. Now, when I was writing the EP that this song shows up on, I knew I wanted to write a song based off of Luke chapter 4 in the Bible, where there's this really crazy story where Jesus is teaching in a synagogue and he opens up the scroll of Isaiah and he reads this passage of Isaiah, which is like a prophecy about what Jesus was going to come and do. And he basically says, this has been fulfilled in your hearing. I'm the guy that Isaiah was writing about. And he's talking about how I'm going to proclaim freedom and liberty to the captive and sight to the blind and all these amazing things. I kind of jostled all these ideas together, started to write, how could I put this in a song lyric that would be something to sing? And to me, the theme of this guy, Jesus, that a lot of people don't know, who is this Jesus guy, the wandering around the earth and then saying these crazy things that eventually got him killed, right? Because he was deemed blasphemous. I took elements of scripture and then created a theme and wrote out some of this stuff and then went and tried to find music I could put it to, and it morphed from there. But it started with an idea and it started with a lyric that allowed me to then flesh out what I think is a pretty cool song. Side note, I also re-recorded that entire song using nothing but an iPhone if you want to check out that video. Second way to write a song is to build your lyrics and the rest of the song around a simple musical idea or motif, or if you're cool, you say riff. And a great example of how I built a song off of a musical riff or motif is a song I wrote called Bury It. This song was all about that riff. It was just me with my acoustic guitar originally playing a little bit of a riff, getting that Maroon 5, old school Maroon 5 kind of vibe when they used to play instruments. And from there, I just wanted to flesh it out to a full song. What would the hook be? What would the chorus be that I could, pair with this sort of verse intro riff? And then what would a melody be that would fit that? And then what lyrics would fit that melody? I would say that this type of songwriting technique where I start with the guitar riff or musical motif and then build everything around that is more common for me. It just comes a little bit more easy for me. So a super fun way to write because you can just noodle along with your instrument. If you're a piano player, if you're an organ player, if you're a bass player, drummer, anything. Any musical riff or idea can be the genesis of a song. You just flesh it out from there, and then that informs your melody and lyrics. Fun fact about that song is that I actually re-recorded that song in a professional studio with one of my heroes and good friends, Jakir King. And third way I like to write songs, that you can do this as well, is collaborate with someone else that's different than you in some way, shape, or form and see what comes out. This is a lot of fun in the sense that it takes the pressure off because you can look for someone else to spark an idea. All it takes for any kind of art, right, is that little spark of an idea. So if you're out of ideas or all your ideas sound the same, it might be time to collaborate with somebody. So a recent example of this, over the last couple of years, I've been collaborating with my good friend Ill Factor, who's a super talented Grammy-nominated producer in Miami. He has a very different musical style than I do. Electronic music, pop, R&B. And so he brings a lot of that to my more traditional grunge rock singer-songwriter type vibe. And we all actually both like the same kind of music. We grew up in the 90s, so we kind of love anything 90s. But we collaborated a lot of times, a couple of singles, and then most recently an EP. And so one of the songs that I just love on our most recent EP, The Good Life, is a song called Myth of You. And this song came about by us sitting together in Ill's studio in Miami, cycling through riffs. And actually, it's a combination of the second way of writing songs. What we were actually doing when we wrote Myth of You, we were listening to Spotify to songs that we love. And all of a sudden, we were listening to Audio Slave because that's just a great idea any day of the week. And we're listening to the song Like a Stone. And it's got that driving drum beat that's so simple. Boom, ka, boom, ka. And we said, hey, let's make a same beat, same tempo, and build a song off of that. So we went and programmed a beat, and by we, I mean Ill, programmed a quick beat, the exact same tempo, the same kind of vibe, and then we looped that beat. And so this was the inspiration for our song, and we started to play around with a little keyboard thing that he was playing around with. It sounded cool. Then I grabbed my bass, because I brought my bass, plugged it in. He put a weird distortion plug-in on it. We plugged it right direct, and I started to play the little bass riff. All of a sudden, between the inspiration from the Audio Slave drum beat and tempo and vibe and simplicity to Ill's little keyboard thing to my little bass riff that's gritty and over, distorted, the song started to come to life. I love songwriting with other people because it feels like there's less pressure on me. I feel like I have a million more ideas because they're based off of their ideas and we ping pong back off each other. And it really is a refreshing way to work if you've never done it before. Fun fact, with Ill Factor, I've been writing songs for, 20, 30 years, something crazy like that. And the very first song I ever collaborated on with Ill Factor, not only was it one of my favorite songs, Raise My Flag, but The Roots, which is the band on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, played it live on NBC. And that was like a cool moment for me to hear The Roots playing my song with Jimmy Fallon for like 13 seconds. So collaborating with people who inspire you in creative ways might lead to more musical success than you could have reached on your own. So there you have it. 3 ways to write songs. Start with a lyrical idea or the actual poem written out. Start with a musical idea or a motif or a riff and then build the song around that. Or just collaborate with someone who's different than you and let the ideas fly and see what comes out when you smash 2 styles, 2 backgrounds, multiple instruments together and see what comes out. The take home for you today is very simple. Please do not overthink songwriting. Whatever seems to come naturally to you, I think you should do it. Pick one of those ways if you don't have one of your own and just start writing. If you find you're always doing the same kind of thing and it's working, do it. All I want for you is to actually write. And I'll throw in a bonus tip for you. Set a deadline for a new song to be written, even if it's just a week from now. Say, this time next week, put it on your calendar, set a reminder on your phone, I want to write a brand new song. Just give yourself a deadline and then just get in your studio and play around with lyrical ideas, musical ideas, whatever. Listen to Spotify and get inspired. Do something to start the creative process of songwriting. And I promise you, good things are gonna happen. I don't want you to worry about the technical process or if it's the right process. I just want you to get in there and start songwriting. And if you're smart and been paying attention, one thing I talk about a lot on this channel is radio-ready songs and how there is a 6-step process for all song creation. Everything you hear on Spotify, on the radio, whatever, has gone through these 6 steps. And songwriting, my friend, is step number 1. It is the most important step because if your song sucks, the other 5 steps cannot do anything for a sucky song. So write better songs. The other 5 steps will come a lot easier. If you don't know what the other 5 steps are, obviously recording is one of them, mixing is one of them, but there's 3 more steps in addition to those 3 that we've talked about just briefly now. I want you to not only know what these steps are, but what are some best practices industry-wide for these steps and how do you put them together and in what order should you do them to get the best sounding song possible? I want to give you this guide. It's my 6 steps to a radio-ready song guide. It's absolutely free. It's meant to be a resource for you to download. Keep it on your phone or tablet, or if you're old school, you can print it up and keep it on your computer desk where you're mixing and reference it every time you're ready to make a song. I promise you it'll help you get the best sounding song possible. Just grab the guide below or go to radioreadyguide.com. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing to the channel. It means a ton. Hope you're staying healthy and safe. And I'll see you on another video real soon.